Hi there, a very good evening and good morning to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me in this Simply Stocks, and I'm live in this live session with you all. And today I want to talk to you about results of Mastek, and then we'll talk about the markets and answer your queries as well. I know it's late night that I'm online today because uh, there was some function at home, so I was busy with that and couldn't come online in the morning. So we'll discuss about these topics. So let me just open up numbers of Mastek so that we can go through them, and I'll discuss about that. This is one of the stocks that I hold currently in my investment portfolio, and I intend to hold for at least the next 18 months. And I'll tell you the reasons as to why I would like to do that. Plus, about the markets are very cheerful as expected in July. So, if you take out my June live sessions, you would understand that I was pretty buoyant on the markets with respect to whatever takes place in the month of July. So that is what is exactly happening. So we'll discuss about all those points. Hello, Mr. Pawar. A very good evening to you. Greetings, Shivrama Gupta ji. A very good evening to you. Vikas, hello. Uh, Sayed, a very good evening. I know it's late. Hi, hello. So it won't be that a lot of people would be online, but I expect people online from across the Atlantic. There would be more people sitting in. But as far as the markets are concerned, so we'll discuss about the markets a little bit, and then go along further, and hopefully more people join in by that point of time. So the markets per se is buoyant, and currently at around 16,500, 600 looks good. And it seems like next week, till next week, we could be in a situation where the market would be around 17,000, 16,800, and that is probably where the danger zone begins. And probably you will see some sort of selling. So I still believe, I have maintained that continuously, that August will not be that good, and there will be a lot of selling, and we might just breach even 15,000. There could be massive selling that could await us. I would only be comfortable from September, October if I would like to trade in stocks. I would be more comfortable buying in September, October than buying currently and holding on. If you want to trade short term, if for long term, I think many of the stocks are still coming at very attractive levels. Many IT stocks are coming at attractive levels. So they can be bought at, and if you have a 2 year time frame, then I believe this market is still cheap, still very interesting in mid cap and small caps that people can delve into. So that is my assessment for the market. That is where I feel that the market should end up doing pretty well in the long run, but not so well in August and probably early part of September. So that's my call overall. So now I'll just talk about the markets per se. I'll talk about the stock that I wanted to talk to you about. That is Mastek, and there have been a lot of queries about the results, at least on Patreon and YouTube, for from the members, and on WhatsApp as well. So I have not gone through the con call. It has just been uploaded on YouTube about an hour, 2 hours back. I will go through that and probably let people on Patreon and WhatsApp know about it. If you want to be a member, you can definitely email me if you can't join on Patreon. So you'll be also aware of what I feel about the con call. It's a 1.5 hour call, so I'll go through it, and probably by tomorrow, definitely, inshallah, will put something up. But overall, I've gone through interviews of the management and the results as well. So disappointed with the results. There's no doubt about it. With the way the management commentary was before this, I mean, around say April, May, and I was expecting a good numbers on the sales front as well. I was expecting that sales it could be around 620 crores or something like that. It came out to be 570, and then everything trickled down from there on in, and we had a situation where The eventual profits were around 77 crores versus 69 crores in June of FY21. So there was a growth of around 12-13% only, and there was an EPS drop. So uh, we should have been looking at, or I was looking at, a situation where the EPS could be around 29-30. It was not to be. It was way off target, and the stock had a reaction. So stock, even after being down 50% or 45% from the top, went down today, and it seems like we are headed lower. So first about the negatives, and then about the positive, and what I feel short term and long term about the stock. So first about the results, sales for 570 crores versus 516 crores. I'm taking this from Screener. And eventual, you can say, margins were hit. So margins were 19% versus 22%. And this is where the hit really came in, a 3% dip in margin, which was expected, but not to this extent that would go down so much. So 19% margins. Other income of 26 crores really saved the day. Otherwise, this could have been an even worse numbers. Interests were down, depreciation was stable, and we had a profit before tax of 122 crores versus June number of 106 crores. And there's a profit. Then there was a higher tax of 31%, and so we ended up having a situation where the eventual profit was around 77 crores. So there was a, you can say, a good increase in profitability, but not that great. So it was growing at around 30%, 25-30%. This time around, the growth in profitability was around 12% or so. And there lied the disappointment overall that we were talking about. So the stock did not perform that well, and these numbers really tell you the story of what the situation in UK and Europe is. So you can say that in Europe there is problem. There is problem in UK with respect to companies working there. The company cited two major reasons for the decline. Is one of the clients got paused, and that was a big client, a big deal that could just go through probably in the second quarter. And the first reason was the depreciation of the Great British Pound versus the dollar, and probably that should also stabilize by the end of this quarter. So I think these major reasons why the performance was low was, that could be, I mean, that could be, this is just a blip of one quarter or so, or maybe maximum 2 quarters. So if somebody can hold the stock from a 2 years perspective, 18 months to 2 years perspective, then we could be looking at a situation where the stock will bounce back well. And I have my targets in place that the stock will do extremely well. 2 to 3x from here could be possible in the next 2 to 3 years. That is my assessment, because if you understand that they have an order, you can say, backlog, not a pipeline, but an order backlog that they need to complete, and that is of around 1,500 crores. Even if in the next 2 years they end up completing this and having that 1,500 crores come in, plus that new deal with Salesforce that has come in, that's a 10% revenue of around 230 crores that will come in straight away, 220 crores. So that's 1,700 crores or so that could come in over the next 2 years. I'm pretty confident that these, you can say, pending orders that need to be completed or executed should be completed in the next 24 months. So I think 1,700 crores would be straight away coming in. In fact, if you add 10% twice, then we are looking at 500 crores, around 500 crores coming in the next 2 years from that deal of Salesforce. So 500 plus 12, 1,500 is 2,000 crores of revenue straight away, apart from the normal growth that the company is showing. I think the growth will be around 15% or so. So I think around 3,000 crores would be the sales, could be the sales in the next couple of years. And if you add 2,000 crores of the pending orders, etc., and the Salesforce thing, we have 5,000 crores of sales that could just come in by FY24 or end of FY24. So 5,000 at 5,000 crores of sales, if the company is trading at 6,000 crores of market cap, you can understand that the why the valuations are much better if you look at it in that perspective. Now, if that this thing do not fructify in the next couple of years, yes, then it's an exit, complete exit, even if you're losing a lot, losing less or whatever, because we would have given ample time if you would have bought along with me. Yes, it was a trade. I'm not shying away from the fact that it was a trade at 600 rupees, but it was a good investment bet. Sorry, it was a trade at 3,000 rupees. It was a good investment bet as well at 3,000 rupees, with the kind of numbers that it was showing earlier. But now with these numbers, I think 2,000 is very reasonable. 1,600 is a possibility. So I'll talk about the stock movement in a bit. But overall, I feel that 5,000 crores of sales is a distinct possibility over the next 2 years. And that tells me that it's a double, sales could double in the next couple of years. And if you take even margins at 20% and not 19 but 20%, then we are looking at 1,000 crores. So yes, 1,000 crores of operating profit, that we could see. And overall, in that perspective, in terms of EPS, if they do not dilute further, if they dilute a little bit more and not a lot, then their EPS should be around, if I calculate it correctly, EPS would be around 212 rupees, which would be pretty good. So EPS at this time around should be around 110 rupees, and it should grow to 210, 212 rupees by FY24. So that's the positive perspective that I could bring from the fact that there is an order backlog and a lot of things going on. But this two things have to get rectified. One is they should have the people to complete these, you can say, orders that they have, so execute these orders. They are not having the people, so it's like they are having 50 individuals for a project which requires 100 individuals, and they could muster up another 10, 15, and it's only 65 individuals. And unless they have at least 90 individuals in there, the project cannot be executed. So these things need to probably get rectified as quickly as possible. I believe with the kind of management commentary that I've gone through in various channels, that maximum 2 quarters it will take for these things to get rectified, because they are bringing in more people, they are training them, and it would take about 7 to 9 months to do that. If they have brought in these people in April, then you can probably say by December they'll be ready all the way. So I think FY24 is what we are looking at, with bated breath, that the numbers would be very big. And I think in FY24, we could see most of these orders get executed. And probably in FY23, from these 1,500 crores, around 500 crores of orders in the next 3 4 quarters should be done, in the next 1,000 crores probably next time around. And there is an increase of, you can say, these order backlog that are coming in. That's the positive part from the company's perspective. So yes, the numbers have been subdued. Yes, there is a degrowth. Yes, there are problems in UK, but these are not from the company's side. uh, Great British Pound and whatever that is happening with the US dollar, the company cannot control that, whatever that is happening. And the second thing that the company said is again not in their control. The fact that one of its clients had internal issues with their IT systems that they wanted to revamp. So that could just end by say August or so. So by the end of the second quarter and throughout the third quarter, that could get executed as well. So there are a lot of orders that needs to be executed. Yes, in March also there were a lot of orders that needed to be executed and they could not do it. But I think this cannot continue longer, otherwise they will lose a lot of market share. So it's like a double-edged sword at the moment. But if you are not down a lot, then you can probably. So let's come to the stock part now that I have talked about the valuations part. In terms of the stock price, if you have bought at 2,500, 2,400, etc., I think you should have been out by now if you have bought as a trade. at 2500, 26, 2400. But if you have bought at higher levels, say 3000, 2900, 3200, 3100, then it's better to wait it out, because if these things get executed, then you will see a totally different picture in terms of revenues and profitability, because margins should improve from here rather than go down. I don't see Great British Pound just keep trailing all the way once the government sets in, and then some of the measures that could be taken in once the new government comes into power in England. So I think things should look upwards from October onwards, as I have said earlier, with other sectors as well, with other companies in this market. Uh, so if you're losing a lot, wait it out at least till March of 23 and see how the numbers pan out, how the stock behaves, because you never know. The stock might be at 33, 3400 by then. Second thing is, if after this management committee, even if it goes to 1600, there's no point selling, because the management has clarified that this could be a blip. I'm sure that although I have not gone through the con call, they would have mentioned the same thing, that it's a 1 or 2 quarter thing, and things should improve. And I believe that that is the case with all companies that are majorly doing work in Europe, because especially in UK, because this currency fluctuations should get arrested by end of this year, and things should look good. So from a 2 years perspective, it's a good buy around 1700, not at current levels. From a 6 months perspective, if you're not losing a lot, you can shift. All right, so that's about Mastek. I'm ready to answer your queries. There was a query about this market, that do I see the market go ahead and go move higher? I've talked about it in the earlier section. You can go through that. One in one line, I can say that we are expecting market to go to 16,800, 900, and then at least a 10% decline in August, which will take 20 to 25%. You can say fall in individual mid cap, small cap stocks, whether in any sector. So that's my call. And then a base will be made, because there are some weak bulls, and they would be taken out completely by then, by early September or so. So Venky's India is a buy, probably in September, August, September, for this festive season, etc. And for many other factors. I think World Cup cricket, T20 World Cup is there in November, and so on and so forth. They have packaged foods, so that's where you can probably buy as a trade from a 6 months perspective. I think most of the chemical stocks are an avoid for me, and same goes with Balaji Amines. Newgen Software is a decent company. Again, you have to look at numbers first. So after looking at what Mastek has done, and I was extremely confident on, and I make no qualms about it, that I was extremely confident on Mastek's numbers to have an EPS growth of 25-30% year on year. So after having seen what has happened with the company, I would say wait it out for the results and then take a call. If you are holding on to the stock Newgen, then you hold on. Post the results, you can take a call on the stock as to what needs to be done. Dixon is a buy after the August September falls, from an October to March perspective, rather than you buy now. If you have the stock, hold on to the stock till March. It should perform well during the festive season. I think this festive season will be pretty good for most of the consumer companies, especially consumer electronic companies. I would say do not average. I would say hold. Don't buy more into something like Nazara or Nika or any of these kind of stocks. Yes, if you have it, hold. If you don't have it, you can buy some. But if you want to average these, average them when you make profit or when you get into profits, rather than at lower levels. If you have taken a trade, then probably keep a stop loss and exit. If you have taken an investment bet, wait for results to be extremely good and other factors to come together, for the numbers to be good to buy into the stock. So Himadri Specialty Chemicals, I think, is coming out of a rut. It's a buy, but you have to be patient. It will test your patience, because it has moved up vertically from 35, 40 rupees all the way to 90 and all those. I think it could very well consolidate for 5, 6 months. So again, if you have a 2 year perspective, this could be big, and this could definitely go towards 170, 180. Otherwise, if you don't have a 2 year perspective, you can buy, but it will test your patience a lot. It might still go to 60 odd, 65 and odd, and then go up and all those things. So Clean Science is a decent company, but the numbers have to be much better for the company to perform even better because the valuations are stretched in here. So auto ancillary stocks have run up. I will. My favorites are on decline, probably August and early September after a 15-20% decline. My favorites in here are Endurance Tech. Uh, FIAM industry is also good if the numbers are good. Not at this point of time, but Endurance Tech for sure in this field. And and Jamna Auto is good on declines to 120. Can be looked at 115, 120 or so. I would say Maruti is better. The way they are bringing in new cars and everything, but Maruti on declines can be looked at. That's the call. Kilpest, a long term hold is my strategy. I'm holding on to the stock. I have the stock. I think from FY24 it should perform. Again, the issue is that they have tied up with HS Biolabs and there are many other factors, but these companies or whatever tie up or acquisition they have had is in UK. So again, there will be the same problem as we faced with Mastek. So we have to wait it out for at least 1 year from now to make big money there as well. Exide is a complete avoid on my side. So Yasho Industries, I have not analyzed. I won't be able to comment. See, you can buy Happiest Minds, but again, if you buy into any IT company, be it any, so whatever strong it is, you should have a 2 year perspective because IT will go through at least one more quarter of pain before things look up. So that pain could take you down 20-30%. That's the call. Okay. So India Mart, in my opinion, is a complete avoid. I think whatever move had to happen has happened. Yes, you could see a 20-30% up move and then a decline because it was a pure lockup or sorry, a lockdown trade, a trade where all economy was shut down and it was selling online with a lot of margin. So now probably it could struggle. So Sequent, another stock that I hold, a disclaimer, I think things are looking better. We have to wait it out for the results in August and then take a call on Sequent as well. If you have it, hold. Otherwise, do not add, but if you have it, then hold. So SSWL, as far as I know, see, steel strip wheels is what you're talking about. Very positive on the stock. It has always gone under the radar and done well. If you have held on from lower levels, yes, do hold. If you have bought at higher levels, keep a stop loss in place on the stock. All right, guys, thank you. Thanks a lot for being online. Please like and subscribe my channel. Hit the bell icon so you get my videos straight away when I post it. You can support me on Patreon. Thanks a lot for watching.